welcome to the ESFL, the #1 virtual fight capital in the world. This is ESFL Network hosting UFL 8 here on Wednesday nights. I am your host and play-by-play commentator Kingsley. Alongside me is the one, the only Mr. Grind Never Stops, Crooks. Crooks, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing good. I'm really excited for these fights that are about to happen here.
Absolutely. 5 fantastic fights. And joining us here today as well is Ruthless Omni. Omni, how are you feeling about these fights today?
Oh, I'm super excited, man. It's going to be great.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, 5 fights for UFLA. They always put on amazing cards. Now let's take a look at the fight card. This is your co-main and main event that's going to be happening later down in the line of these fight cards. We have Ellen, it's Lotso, who is 4-1 going against the last minute replacement in Dog. And then in the main event, the 5-1 fight is going to be Tactician going against LS Robin. And Crooks, when you think about the main event, how do you feel like that matchup is going to be?
Well, I think it's going to be a grind out stand-up fight between two very, very good all-around fighters in Tactician and LS Robin. And the main event, we're going to see what Ellen it's Lotso is about against a last-minute replacement in Dog. That's a very, very risky thing to do, to take a last-minute replacement against a fighter that you might not know anything about. So we're going to see how that co-main event plays out.
Yeah, and Omni, going to you. I mean, all these fights look amazing on the card, but what fight takes you by surprise, or do you think the chat's going to get hyped for? Like, which fight is catching your eye so far?
For one, Tactician, that main event, I know it's cliche. However, I fought Tactician many times, and to be quite honest, he beats me up a lot. Just the style is very difficult for me to kind of mess with. So, recently he was in a tournament of mine, and so I'm excited to see how he does against an LS member whom, if you guys don't know, LS are very good strikers, and they're as was mentioned before by Kirk. So, I'm excited to see what's going to happen when these two monsters collide. And that's, cliche, but true, man. Main events are where it's at.
Yeah, absolutely. And I hope you guys are ready. I hope you guys are excited, because our first fight is going to be ready to go. It's going to be Frosty the Ghost going against Sopho Neek. And Krug's starting with Frosty. How do you think he's going to be looking in this scouting report in this matchup right here?
Well, Frosty the Goat is 2, and it looks like he's 2-0. He's a very aggressive striker. He likes to stand in the pocket and bang, and it looks like he's going to go with that Jorge Masvidal pick, which is going to play into his type of gameplay. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him try to keep this fight on the feet, to try to force his opponent to stand and trade with him. So on the other end, we have Sopho Eke. I don't know if that pronounces his name right or wrong, but
I think.
Yeah. So what do you see from him in the scouting report there, Omni?
Well, of course, 2 wins, 1 loss. He's a kickboxer. He loves to utilize those calf kicks and can grapple as well. Seeing how he's gone with a Ferguson pick in this situation, I could imagine that grappling is going to be there, right? Going to be using that kind of slick style of Ferguson, who can kick. He has a good switch kick, and try to keep his distance and then close the distance. And when the fight gets into the pocket, throw those unorthodox elbows. This should be really fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll get to see Herb Dean trying to start off the action here for the Wednesday night affiliate league card for UFL 8 here live on Twitch and on YouTube for the ESFL network. Again, Frosty the Ghost, using Jorge Masvidal, Tony Ferguson being used by Sopho Neek. And already we're seeing both guys just fight a little bit close out, trying to trade in a little bit. We're seeing a nice combination, 1-2 into the body from Frosty, and Frosty is using those uppercuts very nicely, getting the head held a little bit low. But with Tony Ferguson, you're going to watch out for that stamina and the combinations. But it seems like they're trying to gauge the distance right here, Crux.
Yeah, and as you can see, Sopho is trying to get the respect of Frosty in the pocket. Frosty does have the better fighter in terms of stand-up for pocket fighting. Jorge Masvidal hits like a Mack truck in this game. For anybody that's fought against him knows he's one of the best to do it in terms of striking with the hands. But Sopho is doing a good job of gaining some respect, getting Frosty on his back foot, getting him up against that cage. So if he decides to shoot for a double leg cancel, he can push him immediately back. Or if he decides to clinch as well, he's not that far away from the cage there. So Omni, if I am if I am Frosty the Ghost here, what do I do to get off of this cage?
I mean, honestly, there's a bunch of things you can do. For one, you can clinch and kind of push him back. You can literally push him. But for one thing, I would be recommending is try to set your feet a little bit and mix up your side steps. Oh, but that was awesome. That's a great, and a nice 1-2 high. But yeah, man, I mean, this is exactly what he can do. You know, throw some good counter strikes, continue to slam that leg to decrease the power. I mean, it's simple, simple fighting IQ 101. And he's doing pretty well at it right now. Kingsley, back to you, man.
Yeah, and already we're getting past the halfway mark. We've seen both these guys trying to land some strikes right here. Frosty the Ghost doing some nice job with those leg kicks. You have to think, Sopho, he needs to find a way to just find his way and not trying to unleash so many attacks, because it seems like every time he's getting a trade situation, that health is going low, and especially he needs to watch out for the legs. He gets a nice uppercut for his troubles, and now Frosty needs to watch out for with under 2 minutes. Frosty needs to find a way to continue this momentum right here, Crooks.
Yeah, and as you can see, he pushed him back with a body teep kick there. He needs to keep working those legs. Tony Ferguson does have really low leg health. I believe he has an 89, which is ironically the same as the James brothers. As he gets a good head kick rock right there, see if he tries to clinch up, tries to get him to the ground, but instead he tries to stand and bang there. This is a very, very dangerous game that they're playing here. As he gets another as he gets another knockdown right there.
Jesus.
Yeah,
and right now,
seeing a lot of. Oh, go ahead.
My apologies. Basically, right now, this is the kind of pressure that you want to see from Tony Ferguson, throwing a bunch of unorthodox strikes, landing off of the leans and such. Go ahead, Kingsley.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to a lot of stamina being used by Frosty. Frosty a little bit in dire straits right here. A little bit of change that we saw in the first round right here. Tries to go for a head kick and not able to get it, as that is the end of the first round. I mean, Crooks, your thoughts? I mean, who do you think took that round?
Well, at the beginning, it looked like Frosty was starting to take control. He got a good rock off straight off the rip, but at the end of the round, his opponent did. Sopho came on strong, so I'd have to give it to Sopho there.
I agree. I think that it's at this point, you look at the head health of Frosty, and I would imagine that he's going to be more cautious and start to be a lot more defensive right here. I mean, that's what I would do. I'd really start to slow my opponent down, continue to slam him in the leg, but maybe start to stay in a striking distance, stay out of the pocket, because that seems to be where he's getting caught. Honestly, from what I can see, he's being caught with like a three-piece hook, then an uppercut. It seems to be the finishing shot. Maybe he's trying to do a pull count or something like that, and that's not what he wants to do. Kingsley, my God.
Yeah, already in the second round, again, Frosty being used by actually Jorge being used by Frosty, and Sopho using the Tony Ferguson in the blue gloves. And again, these head kicks, he's trying to land on. Oh, he gets a vicious rock right there. Sopho doing a nice job attacking the body with that knee. And so far, Sopho taking his opponents back to the cage, tries to do a little bit something to clinch, but not able to get it fully. Let's see if Frosty can answer back here, Crooks.
Yeah, and as you can see, Sopho's got Frosty backing up, but he does need to watch that leg count. It is blinking very, very bad. He needs to switch stance, which Tony Ferguson has a 99 switch stance, so he does not lose any power or any of his moveset goes down in that switch stance. So I think he needs to go ahead and switch into southpaw. But Frosty has done a good job of making. He gets a beautiful knockdown right there with a head kick. He's in a fight-ending situation right here, and it looks like his opponent is going to survive.
My gosh. I mean, as you were saying before, the leg is definitely suspect right now for Sopho, but it doesn't really matter. And, I guess I stand corrected. My gosh. It doesn't matter when you have another leg and you have a good 98 switch stance. It's a high switch stance, if not 99. And you're able to, and you have your opponent's head health flashing red. Honestly, I'd be looking at this point, switch the stance, and do just that. Come forward and stick in the pocket. And now he's got him aggressively, and he's in top mount. And my goodness, this could be close to 8, but it's not. It's not. That's he didn't capitalize with that full stamina there, Kingsley.
I mean, you have to think the stamina. You don't want to get slipped out and get reversed, especially like in a tough situation. I mean, you have Tony Ferguson just take the top control, and especially with 1 minute, you have to think he's taking control, able to get knocked down. You don't have to really push the issue. But again, what a difference that we saw from the first round. We saw Frosty do some good work. But then again, we see Sopho just taking his time. You know, punches and bunches are happening for Sopho, and I feel like he's going to be able to take this round with a head health being so low. But again, with Masvidal being down the ground, this is not his forte, but he's hanging in there, Crux.
Yeah, he's doing his best to try to defend, trying not to let Sopho posture up here and rain down some ground and pound strikes on him. But he needs to be very, very cautious about the sweeps as the round ends right there. This is going to be a very, very hard fight for Frosty to come back into. He needs to be very, very careful going into this third round about throwing anything in terms of stand-up strikes.
Right. I mean, honestly, wrestle. You know, like maybe you want to take it to the ground. It doesn't seem like your opponent's that. Oh, but like you were just saying, man, the strikes are deadly. And here comes Sopho. Looks like he's gonna go for it, and he gets the knockout. My God, that was just a beautiful performance from this guy, and he showed some great prowess with the kickboxing. What are your thoughts on that, Kingsley? This guy looks like he's trying to, make a statement here with that late finish in the early finish in the third, I should say. Late finish in the fight. But yeah.
I mean, that's what we love to see from one of our competitors. Starting off from in the affiliate leagues in the ESFL network, I mean, he was getting hurt. He got rocked in the first round and able to adapt, able to know what his opponent was doing, able to just completely download his opponent, able to get some knockdowns. And you can see on the replays, just posture up, just ground and pound, get Masvidal uncomfortable. And it was just really, really good for for Neek as he goes to be 3-1. And unfortunately, Frosty is now 2-1. He was undefeated before, but now he is not anymore. But a good start to the whole card so far, guys.
Yeah, it was a great start, and what a comeback too. I mean, for Tony Ferguson to beat Jorge Masvidal in the stand-up, I mean, that is not where Tony Ferguson really has an advantage. His advantage would be on the ground in terms of grappling, or even in the jiu-jitsu game. He has a huge advantage with those stats that he has. But for Sopho to come out and beat Frosty at his own game, pretty much with the stand-up with Jorge Masvidal, that's very, very impressive, especially after being rocked as many times as he was in the first round.
Agreed.
Absolutely. And we still have 4 more fights to go in the short 5-fight card. It's looking to be super exciting. But speaking of our second fight, I think it's ready to go. It's going to be HD Grant, who is 3-2, going against JM21. And on the scanner report here, Crooks, what do you have for our first competitor?
Yeah, so I have JM21. He is 3-2. He likes to grapple and he likes to look for subs, but he can also kickbox. So we're going to see which pick he's going to go with here. It looks like he's going to lock in that TJ Dillashaw, which, as we all know, if you play online at all, TJ Dillashaw can do everything. He has good ground stats. He has good takedowns, and he's very, very tricky and fast on the feet. So for HD Grant here, what do you got for us, Ruthless?
At this point, for one, HD Grant's picking an awesome. I don't know if you've played with him yet, but Rob Font right now is just the truth, and especially because he stays in the pocket and brawls. Rob Font's stance, his stats, and his perks, Bulldog, Predator, those two alone are going to allow you to push forward, advance aggressively, along with his other perks. My gosh, he's just a beast with the hands. Let's see how this goes.
We'll see how it goes. Again, HD Grant in the red gloves, using Rob Font, a new fighter into the UFC 4 game. We're going against JM21, who is using TJ Dillashaw. And we saw Grant try to use those leg kicks a little bit, but nice 1-2 will get Grant to just get his opponent out of his way. But a good body shot for JM21. You see JM21, both guys changing up the levels, trying to go for leg kicks a little bit. And
damn,
we're seeing some good action right here.
Yeah, as we see, he gets a beautiful knockdown, does HD Grant. JM needs to be very careful exchanging in his pocket with Rob Font. Rob Font does have level 5 boxing combinations, and he has heavy hands. I know I use him a lot on my stream, so I know this matchup very, very well. JM needs to try to use TJ Dillashaw's footwork to his advantage. That's something that he does have over Rob Font. He does not want to be standing in his pocket exchanging with this heavy hitter here.
Not at all, man. I mean, the more that he allows himself to kind of push forward in the pocket, it's going to allow him to get caught with that jab and hook. That's a great attempt, but he does get denied here. I hope that doesn't deter him from this takedown attempt, and now he's going to get kneed in the body. That's significant. But absolutely, I agree with you, Crooks. You definitely want to avoid standing in the pocket. You can, Rob Font can out punch Piotr Jan in the right hands. It's so incredible how fast and how amazing his stats are with this.
Yeah, and we're seeing already in the halfway mark of the second fight right here. Good body shot landing from JM. Oh, and a good whip. Trying to go for a front kick there, but not really that close for JM. And we see H.G. Grant. He had some nice hooks in. That head hook is blinking, but it's now a back and forth. Responding in kind from JM. JM trying to find the knees. He's landing them a couple of times. But now we're just seeing in the final octagon with under 2 minutes to go. And now we're just seeing a little bit of a brawl right here, Crooks.
Yeah, as we see JM finally able to get that takedown that he shot for earlier, then got denied. Here is where he needs to put in the work against Rob Font as he gets a beautiful side control transition there. He's hitting a couple elbows to the head. He needs to watch that sprawl position, but Rob Font wisely goes to the half guard here. He's going to posture up, try to rain down some ground and pound strikes here to try to get some of that damage that he received earlier back. But he gets rolled with that Kimura sweep there, Omni.
Now, I mean, honestly, that was effective ground and pound, and I couldn't even call that better myself. As most people know, I love grappling, and I'm a very into the punch one and go kind of style. And so it's unfortunate to see that was a great sweep right there. It's just disgusting. It's unfortunate to see someone, lose that momentum just because of that, just because the hook, just because you threw a hook anytime, Jim, man. But that's why you got to mix it up, just like on the feet, you got to mix it up on the ground, Kingsley.
Back and forth a teeter-totter in that last couple of sequences that we saw in the first round right there. And you can see, take a look at the replay, just nice combinations as you see the knockdown from Grant, able to bring down JM with a nice rock, as we're going to see it again. Just a one into a right hook, landing very nicely. And Crooks, you have to think that has Grant's round.
Yeah, that was Rob Font's round. That was Grant's round all the way. He caught him throwing that kick at an improper range and knocked him down there.
Yeah, cool. Honestly, quick question just for Crooks. I mean, the kind of style that he's going with right here, just kind of planting his feet and throwing that jab as his opponent comes in. It's pretty effective, no?
Yeah, it's very, very effective. It keeps your opponent at the range where your strikes are going to be very, they hit very, very hard at a certain range. So he's keeping them at the effective range. He's landing good punches off, and he's really winning these exchanges a lot in the pocket here, Kingsley.
And as we're already in the thick of the second round, again, Grant being used by using Rob Font, TJ Dillashaw being used by JM21. And we see very similar. Oh, but a nice body shot landing for JM. Oh, but a front kick landing for Grant. Now Grant kind of trying to press the issue a little bit, but not able to get much as he can't capitalize, as TJ Dillashaw has some nice footwork. But JM trying to get that ducking roundhouse, not able to get it. Use a lot of stamina, but the head hold is blinking for Grant. Grant kind of in trouble, but he's in the front seat of the second round right here, Crux.
Yeah, and he gets a beautiful rock there on Grant. Grant's moving his head in that Mike Tyson style. He went to that Mike Tyson school of head movement, but he still gets knocked down there. And now he is going to go for stag guard. Is he going to try to get the finish here? He's trying. He's throwing those hooks. He's throwing those straights. But it looks like Grant is going to survive here on me.
My gosh, and he continues to strife with his left hand, right? Honestly, if I'm JM, Crooks, Kingsley, I'm going to start throwing that hook. I'm going to start throwing more straights because you continue to block my right hand coming in. Then I'm going to throw that die. Oh, that could have been terrible, terrible, Kingsley. If he had just said, if he just got caught when he was leaning there. But right now, man, I think that when it comes down to this, oh my God, it's just the exchanges that these two are having right now. And Rob Font is ending up being pretty positive right there, Kingsley.
Yeah, and we're seeing it. We're under 2 minutes. And
damn.
We see both guys going for it. We're not going to see a judge's scorecard decision. We're going to see both guys trying to beat each other's head off, as we see right there.
Yeah, and that was a heck of a way for a comeback from JM there. He was able to withstand that great first round by HD Grant right there, and he came back, and before he knew it, his Grant's head health was really super low, and it happened with a quickness. JM just he got caught up in that Tasmanian Devil whirlwind, and it just didn't turn out well for HD Grant, but it was a hell of a performance by both men there, Omni.
Yeah, man, I agree. Honestly, when it comes down to it, Crooks, like, I'm a fan of TJ, right? You and I have had spars in the past, you being Aldo and I'm being TJ, and it really does come down to where you have your placement with him. And I think that toward the end of that fight, we saw that the strikes were more effective coming from TJ because he was landing and kind of pressuring with distance. Right. And then was once effective method of, planting the feet and throwing the jab, it didn't really work as well when you're getting a straight thrown at you and you're just about to throw your jab when the straight's landing first. And that's what kind of started to get the downfall right there for Rob. And then unfortunately, but fortunately for his competitor, he won. So good job, man. Good job.
Amazing job. Kudos for both competitors for putting on the show in that second fight. It's only going to get better and better from here. We still have our co-main and the main event actually coming your way. But before we even get to any of our last fights, we're going to take a quick intermission to make sure everything's all settled, and we'll be right back. So stay with us. We'll be back soon. again for the ESFL network here for Twitch and on YouTube, representing UFL 8, one of our affiliate leagues for Wednesday nights here in the virtual fight capital in the world. Again, it's me, play-by-play and host Kingsley. Alongside me is Crooks, Mr. Grind Never Stops, and the Ruthless Only with you guys here. And I think our third fight is ready to go. It's going to be Joker Carnage versus Sean Corkery. Both guys 3-2 and hungry for a win. And when you look at the scouting report here, Crooks, I mean, you have to be excited about this whole fight.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this fight. And Joker Carnage, like you said, is 3-2. He has great striking, and he is part of that MOB camp, which we've seen in the past. I believe the last time we covered them, or the last time I covered them, was in Primetime MMA, and those boys were throwing out some bangers in Primetime MMA. So I'm super excited to see what Joker Carnage is going to give us here in this matchup. As far as Sean Corkery, I believe my friend Ruthless Omni has a little bit of a breakdown of the type of style of fighter he is.
Of course, man. I got to tell you, he's a pressure striker, right? He's good with his boxing, and very happy to say this, he's a late replacement. So if you guys think that you want to get involved, but you're not too sure, sign up for a replacement, man. We need him, and you know what? Just show up and show out. So good luck to Sean Corkery. Is it Corkery?
I'm saying Sean Corkery. He's trying to go Connery, like he gets in that mental say, like, oh yeah, it's Sean Connery. No, it's Corkery. There's a
these names, man. These names.
I think they both went with Whitaker. I think possibly.
Oh, Whitaker Mirror.
So it's going to be based on not on the character, but more on the skill and the way they use their control. So let's see how it goes. Again, Joker Carnage is going to be in the red gloves, while his opponent, Sean Corkery, is going to be in the blue, as we see both the referee getting the guys ready. And here we go. The first round of the third fight here for UFL live here on Twitch and YouTube for the ESFL network. And so far, we're seeing both guys, nice little jabs. And the Crooks, so far, we're seeing a little bit of a filling out process here.
Yeah, and it looks like they're going by trial by fire. They're standing in that pocket, exchanging here, double jabs, doing a good job by Sean Corkery there. It looks like he has a win already, but he throws that ducking roundhouse at an improper range and almost gets made to pay big for it and slips into a head kick. But his opponent needs to be very careful. He's being very, very bad with his stamina usage right now, and if he gets caught with any kind of strike, he will get put out here by Robert Whitaker on me.
Oh, 100%, because I bet Robert Whitaker wins this. That was a joke, but still, yeah. See, that's all I need is a little giggle. Anyway, so right now, from what I'm seeing, it's extremely. They're just kind of just throwing, man. And I know for somebody that's a technical striker, I'm always going to be looking to plant my feet and kind of make some good reads, but they're just throwing caution to the wind. And this kind of strategy is really it can be a good thing for somebody who's technical like that, or it could be a bad thing because you can get caught with something silly just because, you're both you're thrown to the wind. I'm assuming this is going to slow down soon, Kingsley.
I hope not. Give me all of this kinetic, chaotic energy right here. I mean, we saw overhand trying to be landed from Joker Carnage, but it seems like Whitaker in the blue gloves, Sean Corkery, I mean, he's trying to find a phone booth a little bit right here, but we see Joker, he loves using these body uppercuts, and the uppercuts to just change up the momentum, because if you're going to find a phone booth with that rock right there, I mean, that's speaking for trouble right here, Crooks.
Yeah, and it comes from being in that pocket and exchanging at the improper range. These guys are planting and throwing. So it's all about timing when you're in these type of fights. I have these kind of fights with a lot of the ESFL players, and it can be very, very detrimental if you don't have the timing on your opponent's strikes. Sean Corkery went from being the aggressor to now he's getting caught. His head health is going a little bit below Joker Carnage here. So it's starting to look like Joker is starting to take over just a little bit. But with this style of play, anything can happen at any time. You can get KO'd, flash KO'd, rock knocked down at any point in time. Omni, if you are Sean Corkery, what do you do to try to get back the momentum that you lost off of that rock?
Well, like I was saying before, man, I'm trying to slow down the pace of the fight. I really want to slow you down, right? Because the way this is, and Crooks, you know this, a really good strategy is at one point, when the best way to strike is to set your feet, and you want to strike when you're coming forward and your opponent's on their back foot from time to time. because then it's harder for them to set their feet and to land proper sways like that, as you can see. You know, and if I'm Sean Corkery, man, for one, mix it up. I'm going to try to go for a takedown. Maybe I'm going to shoot for the double and go for a turning, a single if you're backing out of the pocket, you know, clinch you up and start to land those knees just to get you off your game.
All right, we're in the second round for both of these guys. Again, Joker Carnage in the red gloves, Sean Corkery in the blue. Let's just see how it goes down in
nice rock there.
Vicious rock. Yeah, take it away, Crooks.
Yeah, and he's getting caught with that timing. Joker is starting to get that timing on Sean Corkery's strikes, but he needs to be very careful as he's coming in here to the pockets. Sean Corkery is launching off those elbows, and we know how fast those darn elbows are in the pocket. They can do so much damage and get you out of there. As he rocks him with another uppercut there, he's backing him up to the cage, ripping to the body with 2 shots right there. He's starting to take over this fight. He minor stepped that straight there, which was absolutely beautiful. Sidestepped that front kick there. Omni, it looks like Joker Carnage might get Sean Corkery out of here pretty quickly here.
It looks like that. I mean, but, you know, it doesn't take more than just one shot to kind of change the face of the fight, especially if you're throwing sway hooks like that. That was vicious. And I know that at this point, from what we're seeing from Sean Corkery, he's definitely return to sender to prove your point. Joker Carnage is doing very well to pressure his opponent backwards. He's setting his feet appropriately and catching his opponent either coming in or while his opponent is throwing a combination. Kingsley, you know, at this point, man, you've seen, you know, you were talking.
Oh my God! Oh my goodness, Nate! Bombs explodes.
I'll try to pass it over.
Corkery out of nowhere. Front kicks be damned. I think that was an overhand that Joker Carnage was trying to do, but he actually got carnage in that octagon with a front kick. Hopefully we get to see the replay there, but out of nowhere, Sean Corkery getting it done to become 4-2. I mean, what a crazy knockout right there, Crooks.
Wow.
That is the most insane.
Okay,
That just showed you at any point in time, it looked like Sean Corkery was getting ready to get put out there. Joker Carnage is doing such a great job of pressuring. But like I said, the timing in these type of fights is very, very crucial. You have to be aware of the timing of your opponent as well as what the range. He got caught trying to hit him with an overhand. And that you get caught in that animation with a front kick, you're either going to get knocked down or you're going to get flash KO'd like that. What a great read by Sean Corkery there after being hurt so many times in the first and the second round. An awesome fight by both men, but man, what a great comeback by Sean Corkery there.
And to both points that you, Kingsley, made and you, Crooks, made, for one, this was something that required skill, right? Because as Kingsley mentioned in the beginning, mirror matches, though may not be the best appealing wise, you know, visually, it is still a very, you know, skill versus skill base. You both have equal stats. This means that you need to be better than your opponent. And on top of that, as Crooks just mentioned just now, you know, it really does just take one mistake and one precise strike to end everything. And especially somebody that loves to throw an overhand after you whiff, which is like Crooks does. It is important to be able to. You do. He's talking about it. He's like, it's important to make sure that you are timing what your opponent does. And I think that Sean was timing the fact that he was throwing a lot of overhands. He knew that there was an opening that could possibly be there, or he just threw it as a shot in the dark. But that's why I mentioned that this is something that, if it was a little slower, may have favored Joker a little bit more. You know, you go for the kill and you get shot and you die, you know, then that's that. But good fight to both these guys. I loved it, man. I loved it.
Yeah, and it seemed like the main issue of that, like, it seemed like in the replay, it seemed like Joker Carnage was trying to go for an overhand right there. And I saw him do it like previously in the first round where he was trying to load it up and then he got punished for it. And it just seemed like that last moment, you saw him just move his body and you saw the stamina just wind down a little bit. And it was just perfect timing, just getting caught with the front kick. So amazing timing for Sean Corkery, and just an amazing fight in general, as you guys said. But again, before we even go to our co-main and main event, let's just talk about a little bit of the ESFL. Again, we are live here on Twitch and on YouTube. We have all our VODs here. So if you ever want to catch up with all these affiliate leagues from the UFL to the IXCs of Primetime MMA, be sure to do so. And also one of our number cards for all this new season. And then also, Craig, you could talk about the Discord. I mean, it's always, if you want to be a part of it, you have to join our Discord.
Yeah, the Discord is probably one of the most popular places. The general chat in there is always bumping. And you have some of the elite guys, such as Ed Parker. You have myself. You have Suave Jamie in there, who we know is a beast on Xbox. You have Blake Tyler, who is a current champion over there. You have Goat1099. You have Romero. You have some of the best UFC 4 players in that Discord, and they are always in there challenging each other for fights or trying to do best of 5 series. So if you want to get involved in the ESFL, there's no better place to start than getting in that ESFL Discord and really challenging yourself by challenging some of these fighters. You know, if you want to get noticed, there is a place to do it. Go and run a set against some of these guys. Go in there and prove yourself and prove why you should be in, whether it be the affiliate cards or even in the ESFL itself, whether that be as a mainstay fighter or as a substitute. You can really prove yourself just by joining that ESFL Discord.
Yeah, and also along with that, we also have some amazing things on the Discord side, but on the YouTube side, I mean, the tier perks that you get for helping out the community more, of helping the ESFL out, they're always awesome. So talk a little bit about that, Omi.
So, you know, I'll tell you this, right? When you really enjoy something, you invest in it. You know, you invest time, you invest your efforts toward it. And we got our tier 1, man, you're going to get awesome emotes. You got tier 2, and in tier 2, not only are you going to get awesome emotes, but you're also going to get a follow from what you're investing in, our social media, ESFL, to you, which could give you a lot of exposure if you're an up-and-coming fighter in the game, right? We all want to get exposure if we're getting ourselves out there into this kind of environment. I know I'm a streamer. Crook streams, Kingsley streams, and one thing is for certain, social media is very important for that. So if you're an aspiring streamer and you are, or you're very good at this game, because it's not all of us stream, you know, but you want some exposure, man, it's worth it. It's a worthwhile treat for yourself, and you don't get any advertisements for it. It's great, man. It's a good, it's well spent time. It's well spent money, and it's well spent effort for something you enjoy. All right, Kingsley, back to you, bud.
I mean, as you said, it's going to get bigger and better. So stay at the horizon. Get ready to see a lot of awesome things come to the ESFL. But I think we got all the things out of the way. We have 4 weekly events every single week. The Wednesday affiliate leagues, the multi-tournaments, the ESFL number cards, always happen on Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But now, Crooks, Omni, it's time for your co-main event of the evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be Ellen, it's Lotso, who is 4-1, going against a last-minute replacement in Butterdog. And when you think about this matchup, Crooks, I mean, on the scouting report, this is going to be a David versus Goliath matchup.
Yeah, and you got Ellen, it's Lotso. He's sitting at 4-1, which is a great record to have in any league. More or less a league like the UFL where there are some killers here. We're gonna see how well he does with this matchup here. It looks like they're gonna go in featherweight, but can he break the curse? So far, we've seen one last-minute replacement come in and just get an awesome victory in their last fight with Sean Corkery. So we're gonna see if he can reverse the fate here against his opponent, which Rutus Omni seems to know a lot about here.
Honestly, you know, with this last minute opponent, he's got 1 dub, he's got 2 losses. He's really coming in right now, and he's trying to make a statement. You know what I mean? I can more so tell you about the fighter he's picked, right? Max Holloway. And Max Holloway, hopefully I'm saying the right name. It's a little tiny. I'm hoping picking the right person, but still, Max Holloway, or even if not, if it were the McGregor pick, it's really hard to read the who is who. Can somebody tell me that real quick, just so I can make sure?
Alice, it's Lotso in the blue gloves using
Thank
Max
you.
Holloway and Butterdog in the red gloves using Conor McGregor. And as we get into this first round right here, we've seen both guys get some nice combinations. We've seen a little bit of a slips and ducks from It's Lotso. Lotso with a nice leg kick. And now we're just trading in the pocket. We've seen both guys do some nice stuff, but a nice answer from Conor. But again, those uppercuts, he needs to watch out. We're seeing punches and bunches right here, Crooks.
Yeah, and I want you to look, it's the same pace as the last fight, but I want you to see what Lotso is doing. He's switching up the timing. He's throwing different combinations. He's popping out that jab at the end of the combinations just to get Butterdog to really think like, hey, is he going to throw another combination here? And he's putting some work in on Conor's head, and he's moving his head very, very well to negate the return fire from Conor McGregor, because we know when Conor hits, he hits very, very hard, even if you are Max Holloway. But character-wise, both of these characters play fighter-wise. Both of these fighters play into each other's strengths. They're both very heavy stand-up fighters. But it looks like so far, Lotso is getting the best of the stand-up, but he gets cracked with that overhand. He can't take too many of those here, Ami.
No, not at all. And to your point as well, the counter striking of Conor is just superb, especially with that left straight. He really, at this point, because of the pace that they're at, this, I would say, that was a nice little combination. I would say that this can favor the Max Holloway player, and I'll tell you why. The hand speed and the stamina for Max Holloway can go at this pace the entire time. The Conor McGregor stamina is, though the strike speed is there, and the strength, the stamina is not. And if he starts continuing to slam this man in the body with body kicks like that and landing in the head, which also drains stamina, this is going to be favorable for him. Kingsley, how you feel about that?
Yeah, it seems like it's a very good matchup. I'm liking what Lotso's doing. I mean, he's able to dictate the pace and set his territory straight. He's not getting caught, and he seems like he's more of the defensive fighter. Both guys, we know they can swing for the fences, but again, it's all about who's going to make the defensive. As both guys try to go for a front kick here, nice move from Butterdog. I mean, Butterdog was able to get a nice front kick right there, but it's Lotso trying to play a little bit of a counter puncher aspect, and you can see a lot of stand-up being used for the Conor McGregor, and with a couple of seconds left, I mean, it's Lotso. You see he's doing some good jobs. Again, the slips, that is going to be his benefit going to this round, but he's using a lot of stamina here, Chris.
Ooh. Yeah, he needs to be very careful. I believe he got body rocked right there. His stamina was really, really low. Those slips, he is not allowing his stamina to recover, which you can do sometimes off of your combinations, but that's not something that you want to employ throughout an entire fight, because it will gas somebody, even a fighter like the likes of Max Holloway, who has great stamina. So going into round 2, I expect him to be a little bit better with his stamina management. Yeah,
and then just shoot this right back to you, Kirk. So, you, for one, you're somebody that would pick like a Cub Swanson. Like, how do you handle somebody that has so much stamina advantage at this point with like a Max Holloway pick, the meta pick of the game? Like, how do you handle this kind of guy? And then on top of that, I think an option to that is handling him with somebody that can strike with him, and that's this version of Conor and the other version of Conor. So that right there is like to you, but like it makes so much sense at this point. Like, he needs to start putting himself, for one, at a better reach, and he needs to stop throwing these, like, you see, like that's a naked slip. You know what I mean? And if he notices that he starts throwing that naked slip, like right there, he can land a front kick. And an uppercut just like that. Just like that. That's exactly where I was going with it. Awesome ending.
Last minute replacement. David has again defeated Goliath in this scenario. I mean, if you had your predictions, you were not seeing this coming. Butterdog, who was 1-2, gets his second win against the 4-1, now 4-2. It's Lotso. I mean, it seemed like it's Lotso was having a nice job defensively in that first round, but the stamina and just the maneuvers from the Conor McGregor, you have to watch out for the uppercuts. What a vicious knockout there as he gets the victory, and that has to just elevate his stock right here, Crooks.
Yeah, as you said, the last minute replacements are 2-0. That's the danger of taking a last minute replacement fight. You're game planning for a certain fighter, and the new fighter steps in, and that's the way it goes. But he did a great job of catching Lotso throwing a strike at a range that he shouldn't have been. Lotso, I feel like he got a little bit too comfortable in the play style that he was using against his opponent there, Butterdog. And Butterdog just was like, okay, you're going to keep doing this. I saw in the last round that you drained your stamina. You were throwing combinations, and then you were trying to slip off, and you were trying to hit me with some kicks. So I'm gonna time it up. I'm going to wait for you to throw a combination, and then I'm going to wait for you to try to hit me with that head kick that you were throwing, and I'm going to absolutely punish you with this uppercut. And unfortunately for Lotso, that uppercut did more damage than he probably anticipated and just knocked him flat out. It was a great performance there by Butterdog.
Couldn't said it better myself, man. But like I was saying during the fight, he was throwing a lot of naked head movement, right? Naked head movement, and then he would just block. Like sometimes he wasn't blocking all the time. You know, it's good if you want to give your opponent reads, but if you're just throwing a bunch of naked head movement, eventually your opponent's going to time that if they're good enough, and they're going to make you pay for it. And that's what we saw here. He, as you said as well, he noticed the kicks were coming. He noticed what was happening, and just like that, lead uppercut ends the fight. Beautiful thing, Kingsley. Beautiful thing.
Absolutely a beautiful thing. And speaking of a beautiful thing, let's take a look at this beautiful fight card that we had. I mean, looking down these 4 fights, we had some excellent matchups. I mean, HG Grant versus JM21 was a cool, awesome matchup, very much of a brawl contest. Joker Carnage versus Sean Corkery with a vicious KO. And then our first fight, I mean, Sopho and Nick pulling it out against an undefeated Frosty the Ghost. I mean, Crooks, going to you, starting off with you. I mean, in this fight card, what fight took you by surprise so far? Like, what did you not expect happening?
Well, to be honest, I didn't expect any of these fights to go the way that they did. I mean, Frosty the Goat was looking good in the first round, and then Sopho just came back and put it on him. And then HD Grant, for a majority of the fight, was dominating against JM21. And then JM21 says, you know what, I think I have had enough of this fight. I'm just going to go ahead and end it where it ended at. And then Joker Carnage against Sean, a last-minute replacement fight that I think a lot of us would have favored Joker in. He ends up getting caught. I believe it was that Whitaker mirror match that Sean caught him with that beautiful,
yes, it was
that great time front kick that just put Joker Carnage's lights out. And then this co-main event was absolutely pretty much a repeat of what we saw in the Joker Carnage Sean Corkery fight. I mean, Lotso was looking good. He looked like he was putting it on his opponent, Butterdog, who is also a last-minute replacement. And then Butterdog just said, you know what? I'm over this. I know what you're gonna do. I'm gonna wait here, and I'm gonna time this uppercut on you and put your lights out when we're all gonna go home. So far, this card has been absolutely amazing. Omni, what fights have stood out to you?
Yeah, I honestly have nothing else to say, Kirks. That was beautiful. Great rundown too. This is the night of the underdog, and in many people's eyes, a lot of the people that have won wouldn't have. But you know what? What made me very happy was how Butterdog, being 1-2 is now 2-2, coming in as a late replacement, coming in as somebody, in the spotlight. Being a co-main event is not easy, and he's did something that is very hard for people to do: make a read. He made a read and he acted upon it. He did not allow himself to get taken away or taken aback by the pressure. I just love those kind of people that can really stay composed and keep themselves in the fight. And that's where I stand on that, man. Awesome rundown.
Yeah, awesome rundown. And we still have one more fight to go. So I hope you guys get your predictions right in chat, because it's about that time, ladies and gentlemen. It is your main event here on the ESFL network of UFLA. It is Tactician going 4-2, going against LS Robin. And this is going to be in the middleweight division. And on the scouting report, this is proven to be a main event right here, Crooks.
Yeah, and we got Tactician. He is 4-2 and is a very, very patient striker. He likes to stay out of the pocket, and he has great takedown defense. So if he gets you in trouble, you're not just going to be shooting lazy takedowns and expect to get one. He's going to be on that denial, and he's going to try to get you out of there. But he's going up against a tough opponent in LS Robin. Omni, what do you know about Robin?
4-1. The guy's got great fighter IQ. He's a technical striker as well, which should make this a very interesting matchup. And he's good at adapting. He starts realizing, oh, okay, well, he's doing this every time I come forward. All right, well, I'm going to kind of just plant my feet right here and act like I'm going to go forward, feign a jab. Okay, this is how he did it, and he makes good reads and adjusts very well. This is going to be a very interesting matchup, especially seeing how from what it looks like, if he keeps us locked in, we would see Robin pick out Asanya against a Whitaker. And, Crooks, I think you know as well as I do that Robert Whitaker can definitely be considered the meta pick of this division. Now this division has become more well-rounded, I will say, now that they added more fighters. However, he's still a very good meta pick and has an advantage in the grappling, man. So this should be interesting.
It should be interesting. And I know Crooks is going to be excited about this matchup as we see, as you said, he's hovering around Izzy right here. And again, against a Robert Whitaker, you have to deal with a lot of things. He's been the meta pick so far. I mean, we could possibly be seeing a Shemaya, maybe a Whitaker mirror match that we saw before that led to a vicious front kick from Sean Corkery. But again, he's still taking his time. Every time we go into the fire selection screen here, Crooks, it becomes more of a chess match the longer you stay in it.
Yeah, it does. And I mean, I know personally I've used this strategy against some of my ESFL opponents. I wait to see who they're going to pick, and then I try to counterpick that pick. I mean, maybe he's having trouble deciding, hey, do I use Israel Adesanya and use that length against Robert Whitaker? Do I go with somebody like a Jacare Souza who I can go grapple heavy with against Robert Whitaker? Because Robert Whitaker does, even though he does have decent grappling stats, he does not hold a candle to what Jacare has on the ground. Or maybe he's going to try to match up with him and go with the mirror. Who knows? There's a wide variety of fighters that you can use here. Anybody, I would say, within the top 9 characters that you're able to pick here in the top fighters can be utilized very, very well. But we're going to see.
You can see someone go with a Luke Rockhold. I mean, there's a GSP as well. I mean, the middleweight division for the UFC is just so stacked with heavy hitters and people who can grapple, and just the striking is just immaculate. I mean, you still have Pablo Costa, who's still no slouch. I mean, he's not being used as much, but again, he can still do a lot of stuff. I mean, there's so many people. I mean, what would be the unorthodox pick for you, Omni, going into the situation? I mean, Robert Whitaker needs to be Orlando, but
100% Luke Rockhold. That chin is terrible. It's garbage. I commend anybody that will actually be willing to pick Luke Rockhold or Chris Weidman. You know what? Chris Weidman specifically, because Chris Weidman's stats, garbage, terrible in this game. But Luke Rockhold is still, regardless of that, has great wrestling. And Kingsley, I mean, you know this, his submissions are amazing. If you really want to get a good dub on somebody else, take them to the ground with Luke Rockhold, and you'll give them a really bad headache, a really bad day if you're pretty good at it. Another option as well, which has not been mentioned as well, you could go with a 4-star here. There are plenty of them that are really good that we were going with. We still have 100%. We have Marvin Vettori. That's I think is amazing, and after his last victory, with against wow. How did I just forget his name? Someone say it, please.
Kevin Holland.
Thank you.
Oh, wow.
My goodness.
That quick, huh?
I work from 2 a.m. to 4 p.m. Okay.
Done, huh? Wow.
I work from 2 a.m. to 4 p.m. Okay. I have an allowance for stupidity. But anyway, that victory was great. I'm sure he's going to be moved up now, especially after that impressive win. He's definitely a good pick, man. He's a strong pressure boxer. And again, my favorite perk in this entire game, Bulldog. It's so good. It allows you to push forward and stay into somebody's face. That's all I love doing, man.
Yeah, and again, we are still waiting for both fighters to select and have confirmation. So we got that main event ready for you.
Let's
guys.
go, Robin.
But again, we welcome you guys. We thank you guys for sticking in with us here for our Wednesday night cards here on the ESFL Network, hosting one of our affiliate leagues, UFL, for their 8th card here on the ESFL Network, live here on Twitch and on YouTube. We have always 4 events, excuse me, for you guys every single week, starting with today and then number one virtual fight capital with our affiliate leagues. Then Friday is our tournaments with Muay Thai. That's like a stand-up brawl and stand-up tournament. And then on our Saturday and Sundays, Saturdays is our ESFL title fights, our fight cards that shows either our PS4 champion or Xbox champion going toe-to-toe against a challenger. And then Sundays is usually what we see in the ESFL, seeing the more up-and-comers going at it and trying to make their claim to get possibly a title shot. But again, if you ever want to be a part of it, I mean, Chris, you have to join our Discord if you want to be a part of the action.
Yeah, if you want to be a part of the action, being in the ESFL Discord is very, very super important because it gets you noticed and it gets you some good fights too. I mean, all of us, I know myself, I see Omni, Kingsley, I see you when you stream UFC 4 as well. You're in ranked championships. A lot of us like to play ranked championships, but we all know sometimes we get bored of it. Sometimes if you're a high level player, you get a little bored of playing against people on online world championships. So if you want to get a good fight in, go in the ESFL Discord, see if somebody wants to run a best of fives, and you never know who you're going to get. There are killers in that ESFL Discord. There, like I said earlier, there is GOAT1099 on the PlayStation side who is in there. There's Romero who's in there. There's Zayef YT, the current PlayStation 4 champion that's in there. Papa Doc, who is the #1 contender after his win against GOAT last week. He is also in there. You have other killers like Suave Jamie on the Xbox side. Blake Tyler, who is the current ESFL champion on that side. EK Trixie, who is the Venom Invitational winner from last week, is also in there. You have absolute killers in the game that are in there and are willing to give you guys fights and to teach you guys the way that they look at the game. So not only are you getting to go against the elite of the elite from the ESFL, but you're also going to learn a thing or two from those guys, and they're in there chatting, having a good time, and getting in some good fights. So it is a definite must if you want to get better at this game that you join the ESFL Discord.
Yeah, absolutely. You definitely want to be joining our Discord. You definitely want to be a part of it, climb up the ladder and get your way up to the top. But also along with that, many perks on the Twitch side, along with like having predictions to see who your favorite ESFL fighter is going to win going against other people. We also have the YouTube side where it has all the VODs, one of the best fights that we ever seen, Payton versus Abate and Nash. And then along with that, we also have the perks. So just talk a little bit about the YouTube side as well here, Omni.
So with the YouTube side as well as the Twitch side, there are levels or tiers to subscriptions that you can help support ESFL with. I say it, with a little bit of anticipation because it's something that you come through and you watch. And as we are anticipating this main event right now and we are ready to go for it, it's something that you guys come for Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays to see. And if you've been here every week and you've been following on YouTube or Twitch and something that you enjoy, getting yourself invested in it is awesome. I mean, if you enjoy hiking, you get good hiking boots. If you enjoy boxing, you get good boxing gloves. And if you enjoy watching your favorite content without commercials, then you pay for the highest package. So if you go for tier 1, you get great emotes, no ads. If you go for tier 2, not only are you going to get great emotes, but you're also going to get a follow specifically to your social media account of, is it of their choosing? I'm pretty sure.
I think it is of their choosing. I think so, but
because we have it everywhere.
And also along with those perks, amazing perks you guys definitely want to go into. But I think we're finally ready for our main event. Sorry for the short delay. We have late replacement. It's going to be Ea Salazar MMA going against Tactician. So very interesting matchup that we're seeing right here, Crooks. I mean, kind of a change of pace. I mean, usually when you're in this fight and you have already planned for someone, it's kind of jarring to see someone like take their place, and now you have to prepare for a different opponent.
Yeah, it very is, and it can play a big part in how you play. You have to go into it kind of, if you haven't played your opponent a lot, you're going to go into the matchup being very, very cautious and trying to learn what they read. As we can see, it looks like Tactician has only fought him one time. So he's not too aware with the style that Ea Salazar is going to bring to the table. But I personally have fought Ea Salazar MMA in ranked championships enough to know that this guy is no slouch. He's very skilled in the game. He's going to try to take it to you in the stand-up, and he's going to try to get you out of there as quickly as possible. So we're going to see how this matchup goes here against Tactician.
And I have to just say, I mean, we saw underdogs being 2-0, and this is another late-minute replacement. So let's see how this main event goes. Here we go, guys. Tactician in the red gloves using Robert Whitaker, and the late-minute replacement, Ea Salazar, using Izzy Adesanya in this main event 5-round matchup. Let's see how it goes down. And already, we're seeing a filling out process. Both guys trying to find their way in. We've seen attacking the body, nice body shot, and a nice steps aside from Tactician. Tactician doing a good job right here on me.
Yeah, man. What I'll say is this, and I'm noticing it a lot. We're seeing a lot of side kick attempts. We're seeing a lot of jab side kicks. You know, Tactician goes for a lot of teeps, goes for a lot of side kicks. He likes fighting out of the pocket. That was an awesome dump, and he dumps his opponent right on his back. And then as Israel Adesanya, you know, staying in that striking range is a very good idea. You know, going for those teeps are good. But he also can strike in the pocket. That's where you see these knees and elbows come through. And crooks, I mean, I don't know out of these two who you would prefer to use, but I'm curious. Who would you prefer to be, rather be, Whitaker or Adesanya?
Well, it all depends. It all depends for me what opponent I'm going up against. It really would determine who I'm going to be using here. But it looks like Tactician is good at applying the pressure. He wants to keep Israel Adesanya up against that cage. And if you notice here, Ea Salazar needs to be very, very careful with his stamina consumption. Although he is landing some good shots on Robert Whitaker, he's throwing a lot of heavy, flashy strikes and the spinning elbows. He's getting hit with the teep to the body there, and he gets straight right there. And here comes Tactician. He's trying to put it on him, but it looks like Ea Salazar is going to be like, nope, you're not going to get me out of there that easy. And he hits him with that beautiful spinning head kick right there, but it drains the stamina from Adesanya. And as you can see, there is a big deficit in the stamina, and he wastes it right there, Kingsley.
Yeah, this is kind of being a little bit of a chaotic main event right here. I mean, Tactician trying to be a technician in the octagon. I mean, you see him sidestepping, you draining the stamina of Ea Salazar, but Salazar trying to go for the double kick. If he had that spinning roundhouse and had full stamina, that could have done a lot of damage, but now he's on the back burner, and you can see he's trying to go for these home run hits, and he's using a lot of stamina, and now we see Tactician just attacking the body, draining that stamina a lot low, and you can see the stamina differential right here. I mean, with 1 minute to go, Tactician, this has to be his round so far here, Crux.
Yeah, it's definitely turning into his round, but it seems like Salazar, I don't know necessarily what his game plan is coming into this fight, but he has wasted a lot of his stamina. As he gets cracked with a good hook right there, gets hit with a three-piece. His block is broken. He does not need to exchange here. He needs to be very careful. He does catch him with a good lead roundhouse kick right there. Tries to hit him to the body, but Tactician slips it, kicks him to the body. Misses on that front teeth, but now look at the stamina on this man. This is brutal. This fight can end at any moment if Ea Salazar keeps being inefficient with his stamina going into the second round.
Oh my gosh. So, and the reason, right, that he's being inefficient with his stamina is not because, you know, he's getting, you know, taking a lot of damage. That is a part of it, right? He's getting hit into the body, as we saw there. He did get rocked once. But a lot of it is because he's going for these, like as Kingsley, as you mentioned, he's going for a lot of like home run hits, and he's missing. He's just trying to go for a side kick, missing. Trying to go for a jumping spinning back kick, missing. Trying to go for a leading high kick, missing. And that's going to drain your stamina, even if it hits on the block as well. You need to, you know, and all these feints as well that you see him going for, right? Like he's starting up that switch kick and he's feinting, and it's just it's intuitive as to why, and it's compounding into why stamina is looking the way it does.
And already in the second round, we're seeing both guys brawling out, and we've seen Salazar able to get that head held low. He's in the blue gloves using Izzy Adesanya. Oh, trying to go for a Superman punch off the cage, but Whitaker, aka Tactician, Tactician gets hit with a ducking roundhouse, but again, that stamina was so low, not able to get much damage or any push on it. Tries to go for an overhand here. Again, those kind of mistakes. I mean, Salazar has been doing it all fight, and then now it seems like Tactician is just waiting his opponent out, trying to say, if you are going to do that, I'm just going to gauge the distance a little bit, let you come to me.
Damn.
That right there to the body. Drain the stamina low, drain the body health a little bit. But again, dangerous opponent Ea Salazar is. I mean, Salazar he gonna start the octagon? If he's gonna go for these home run hits, he is still dangerous. One knee, one head kick could prove all the damage if Tactician doesn't stay on his P's and Q's. But right now, Tactician here, Crooks, I mean, he's doing a good job not being forced into a brawl right here, but again, this is a solo for Ea Salazar.
Yeah, he's being a tactician in here. He's just chipping away at that health. He's like, you know what? I know if I try to open up big, you could catch me with something. You're throwing crazy. I'm just gonna stay very, very technical and sound, and just try to throw what I know that will work. Try to break your block down little by little.
Oh, here it is!
Right
okay, here we go. Can Salazar do anything with this situation? 2 minutes ago, sorry to cut you off. Oh, but we see a rock there. Tactician, you could give me with a flying knee, but I him in the body.
He's going for that
rock
finish.
And almost close. I mean, it's close to a finish right here. I mean, Omni, the stand-up blow, but this is kind of a reprieve that Ea Salazar kind of needs, but they're going back to stand-up.
Well, I mean, and then that's where Tactician wants to be. He likes to have this exactly that. He catches his opponent coming in, throwing at a distance, and I mean, honestly, I don't think great replacement. It was an awesome flying knee.
Oh my God, Tactician again with 2 flying knees. I was worried about if the flying knee was going to come in, but the body can attack the body. The head will fall. Ea Salazar hanging on by a thread. I mean, Tactician, he's doing his best to fight back, but every time he gets close, he's getting hit with the flying knee. And with 30 seconds, with that stamina solo, getting close, knocked down again. Tactician now wanting to go to the ground. He's going to stay up, but there we go. 20 seconds left. Can he finish it here? He's not going to go for it here, Crooks.
Yeah, he's making him stand up. He hits him with a beautiful spinning elbow right there. And here goes into the ground and pound finish. He's going to be able to finish him before the round is over, and he doesn't. What a crazy second round we had there, guys.
Holy crap, man. Yeah, it is. A lot of what it is like, and as like you see right here. Yeah, right? It's vicious, bro. It's vicious. He's literally just catching his opponent off guard. And both of them are. With the spinning back elbow that almost ended the fight there, too, with him and Tom out, Kingsley. Like, it's... And Kirk's, like, it's insane, man. This is very competitive, even though the stamina is looking very low.
Are you not entertained? ESFL chat live here on Twitch and YouTube. This is your main event for the UFL 8 on the ESFL network, and already Tactician brings his opponent down. It's almost close to the end, but Ea Salazar able to get out the body, the head, all blinking for Ea Salazar. Salazar trying to go for a spinning roundhouse, doesn't land, and now we see Tactician taking his time, slowing it down, knowing that he has the advantage. He doesn't want to get caught with a flying knee here. Almost with an overhand, but not able to land. And again, The Rock, can he finish it here? He's taking the time, 1, 2, and that's how you do for Tactician. Be a technician in the octagon and in the main event. Excellent victory for him right there, Crooks.
Yeah, he kept it. He was being he was maintaining his pace all the way through. He never sped it up when he had his opponent hurt. He never slowed down when he was hurt. What a great performance. Way to stay grounded and to your techniques and hit him with that beautiful 1-2. He was able to drain his opponent, Ea Salazar's head, down to the point where it only took one shot, and he put him out with that beautiful jab straight combination there.
That was fun. That was really fun to watch. And I love that, Kingsley, that's so cool. Tactician being a technician. That's a really cool tagline for the guy. When he gets he gets over to the ESFL, that should be it. That's a really good tagline. Awesome job, man. He honestly was just being more of a technical fighter there. He was throwing teeps, he was throwing he was throwing teeps when he needed to. He was throwing the body kick when his opponent's stamina was low. Great job, man. Great job. And he kept his high, which is the most important thing, and didn't fall into the trap of continuing to push, even though he had the victory at hand. Good job.
I was gonna say, everything, like the bait was there, and you saw the 2 flying knees like land and rock them, but he didn't take the bait. He was staying in his game plan. He was like, okay, I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to scramble, trying to get the victory right here, but I'm not going to let you do that. I'm going to say my game plan because you can't handle it. So it was just a good stoic game plan from him. And hopefully we get to see that in the ESFL one day, because I want to see how he implements that style going against other higher competition. But man, what a good fight card. What a good event that we had. I mean, such an amazing event. We saw crazy knockouts. We saw crazy fights. We saw crazy decisions as well. I don't even think we even saw a decision. Everything
No.
has been a knockout after knockout after knockout, and that's what we love to see here in the chat and on the ESFL. I mean, just to get the last words from you guys, Crook, starting with you. I mean, what do you think about this whole event in general?
This whole event was absolutely crazy. I mean, we had a lot of last minute replacements come in and do very, very well. I mean, that main event had a last second replacement in it in A Salazar, and he made the fight very, very entertaining. Even though he didn't get the victory, he made it very, very interesting with those flying knees. But overall, the card was absolutely amazing. This is what we've come to expect on these affiliate cards. I mean, UFL has done great events. Primetime MMA gives us great events. The IXC gives us amazing events as well. Every Wednesday, I'm looking forward to seeing these guys that are up and comers start to give us some amazing fights that we can talk about going forward. Man, I give a big shout out to the UFL matchmakers for putting this card together and for having the backups ready. That would give us these absolutely amazing and entertaining fights. It was an overall great night of fights. And shout out to everybody that all the producers and all the staff members that allow us to come out and be able to do the commentary. I know you guys aren't in front of the people like we are, but we appreciate you guys. They appreciate you guys, because without you guys, I mean, none of this could happen. We wouldn't be able to come out here and do what we do and commentate and have fun with you guys each night. So go and show them some love when you see them in the ESFL Discord, which if you haven't already, you need to join. Give them some love in there as well as these commentators, my friends Kingsley, Ruthus Omni here. It's always fun doing these events with you guys. So shout out to you guys for taking time out of your guys' night to come and commentate with me, and as well as the viewers. Shout out to you guys for coming and joining us for these amazing fights, because without you guys, there would be no ESFL. There would be no reason for us to be doing commentary. So give yourselves a pat on the back. And I can't wait to call the Primetime MMA event next week.
Any last words from you, Omni, for this whole event?
That front kick from Sean Corkery was pretty cool. It was a lot of fun to commentate with you guys, but like for real, this was just a very epic card, man. All knockouts. You know, I know that's the kind of style everyone likes. I would have loved to see more grappling. As you guys know, I like grappling, but at the end of the day, they got the job done, man. And it was just an effective night. 2 replacements coming through and doing well. I'll be honest, I constantly want to curse and I can't. So I have to filter myself. So, but anyway,
professionals.
Right, we're professionals, but no, but on a real note, they're doing really well, and I look forward to seeing these guys eventually debut in the ESFL. And as Kingsley and as Crooks have said the entire night, guys, you can join this community even more if you watch us. You can go into our Discord and you can actually get involved in these fights. I had a wonderful time being with you guys. Kingsley, Crooks, great event. And again, I will say it again, thanks to all the producers that helped us out. Thank you to the ESFL for giving us this opportunity. Go follow my guy Crooks on YouTube. Go follow Kingsley on Twitch. I stream here and there too. You may want to follow me. You may know who I am. You may not. If you don't, well then, I don't know who you are either. So that's how it is. And I have a man bun now, and that's how I'm gonna end it, guys. This is a good night.
Now, the best way to end it, again, give a round of applause for our mods, our staff, everyone, our commentators, everyone who puts 4 events every single time, every single week for the ESFL new season. So we want to applaud you guys for coming here, sticking with us. And there's going to be bigger and better things on the horizon. So again, we will see you on Friday for the multi-tournament. It's going to be amazing, and along with our ESFL cards today, we'll see you guys again here on Wednesday, showing another feeling. So without further ado, I have been Kingsley, that has been Crooks, and Omni. Shout out to everyone in the back for helping us out. We are going to be going, and we'll see you guys at next fight night. Peace out, guys.
Hey.